give everybody a minute to pop on here. This is another live with Jessica from the Tunisian Crochet Graphghan Boutique. Tonight we're going to talk about the ongoing Tunisian crochet along that we are going to be starting. We are going to talk about some of the new stitches that we're doing in it and help if anybody has any problems with those. And like I said, we're going to give everybody a minute to pop on here. Hi, Melinda. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Amy. So, we did start the practice piece for the tea-cow that's going on. Has anybody had any problems with that yet? Has everybody been able to follow along? I did put the video links in, so we have the video 1, 2, 3, and then you would do 1 or 2 and then 1 again, and then the bind off. So I hope everybody's been able to follow along with that. I know a few people did not repeat the 1 again before the bind off. So I hope that everybody, could follow the links okay for their practice piece that we're doing. This is not necessarily to swatch your work and figure out what size it is. This is actually to learn the stitches, since we are actually using the purl stitch, the Tunisian simple stitch, the slanted stitch, and the knit stitch. So we're using all 4 of those. Gloria says, I've watched the videos but haven't had time to start the practice yet. Nope, that's fine. This is going to be up for a while, but I wanted it kept at the top of the group in our announcements, and that way when everybody had a chance they could try these out and make sure that they had their video or their practice piece done. These will also, hi Lisa, these videos will also be linked in the other group, because we're going to set this up as an event and do that, so that way when you're looking for everything you can pop into the event. Hi Mary. That way you'll be able to pop into the event and follow along with what we're doing. I will have the math up when we start that, because I know a few people could not get DK where they're at, and they wanted to use the number 4 worsted weight yarn, so I actually will have the math for that as well as the DK yarn that we're using for the tea-cow. Hi Lisa, hi Rita. So please, even if you're not doing the swatch, pop in, or the practice piece, please pop in and just look at the videos so that you know where they are and you're kind of familiar with them, so when we do it. Gloria, I'm doing TSS, Tunisian knit stitch, reverse, and the honeycomb in my stitch sampler, so I'm pretty comfortable with the stitches, but the slanted stitch will be new for me. I think you'll pick up the slanted stitch fairly easy. It's kind of easy to get. The only thing is, Angela posted a video too. Your second stitch, since it slants over, it kind of gets a little lost once you start. When you first start, you'll notice it, but then after that, once you pick it up a couple times and realize exactly where it is between the first and the third stitch, you'll be good to go. But it is easy to drop that. Hi Chandra. It is easy to drop that stitch when you're doing this, because in the beginning you're not necessarily looking for it, you're just looking for the main stitches that pop, which is usual with Tunisian crochet. Hi Dee Dee. So, let me get my bag over here, and this is what we're going to start working on, and Do you recommend a stitch marker in that first one? Let me turn my work around so that you guys are seeing the first one. In this, oh goodness, in this slanted stitch, it comes over after the first stitch, and it does, what happens is the slanted stitch kind of falls back a little bit. I would say for the first maybe 3 or 4 rows. By the time you've done the 10 stitches for the 10 rows for the border, you're going to know exactly where to look. It's not that it really gets lost, it's that the yarn is thin, and if you kind of pop your thumb into your work when you go to cast on again, you'll see that it kind of pops to the back just a bit. It's, like I said, it's not, it's easy to lose a stitch there, so I would say yes, you can put it in there. But once you get the border part done, that you have the 12 rows, which is your foundation row, which is this chain, and then your first cast on, and then we do the row with the Tunisian simple stitch, the Tunisian purl stitch, and then for the, which would be the third row, we're not considering it the third row, we're considering it the second row because we're not counting the foundation row. You'll see it. Hi Andrea. You'll see it and it'll be easy to find. And like I said, we're going to have the math for all of this up for the whole shawl, so you can do it in whatever you want. But I know that a lot of people were saying that they had a hard time getting a lightweight yarn just in the stores. So I hope that that helps everybody. And we will have the math for that, and we will have the math for how to calculate if you're using something that is thinner or thicker, how to calculate and do a swatch for that. Like all of the decals that we run here, we will show you how to swatch your work and how to figure out this. Most of the yarns that I have tried so far for this, and I've tried a few, different weights, you will need a hook like 4 sizes bigger. With the number 4 worsted weight, it calls for an H, and I'm actually using an L to get the bigger size to work. And like I said, I did gauge the bigger size because so many people wanted bigger yarn that was more readily available from Walmart's or, you know, the local craft stores. Hi Sonia. So, so far, does anybody have any questions that has worked this up or has watched the videos? If you do, please pop them on here and they'll get answered. If you have any questions, you can also pop them in the group if you're watching this later. And if you're watching this and it's later, you can also pop it on here and I will get a notification and I will answer it on here as well. We've had some beautiful color combinations that I've seen a few people trying out for this, which is super, super exciting. I think the stitch definition for this pattern, hi Kathleen, the stitch pattern for this, for it to really pop, since we are using a few different stitches, and what we want to pop is this border, how it has the beautiful stitch and then the knit stitch in the center. Since we really want this to pop, I don't, with a variegated, I did try a variegated and I ended up frogging it, and I probably should have took a picture for the group. With the variegated, you really don't get this stitch definition to really pop so that you can see it. I would recommend, if you're doing something that you want to use something that has color to it and you want your shawl to change colors, please use something that has long color changes. You want something like the cakes, Ria's cakes. That would be fantastic. I actually am going to order another one of these from her. to work up another one of these because I want to do one that starts out black and ends with the red. And I think that it would look very Harley Quinn, and I think that this would be perfect for that. This is the Wicked cake. And I think that that would be absolutely fantastic. Since this goes from one side to the other when you wrap it, you're going to have two different colors on you. This is not worked from the bottom up, so your sides are not going to match. So if you want something that's going to match both sides, you're either going to have to play with your yarn or you're going to have to go with one color. Or, like I said, I would go with something that has long color changes. Because if you go with something that's variegated and has very short color changes, the stitch definition is going to get very lost in this. And that's one of the things that's a great attribute to this pattern, these stitches, and we kind of want to focus on them and get them to pop. Hi, Gail. Oh, we had another question by a member for the USA cakes that I have behind me. These, yes, they do have the glitter in the center, and yes, they were not just a limited time cake. I did get like 4 or 5 messages from people over these. You can order these separately, and we will put the link up in here later. Erica is running some errands this evening, so she's not going to be popping some links in here right now. So we will pop the link in for that later. And I will be doing working something up for this. I'd like to get it done this spring so that it's together for this summer so that I can start, since I do sell my work, that is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to show it in here. But it's not going to be done in Tunisian, so it's going to be one of those weeks where we have the show what you're working on post. Hi, Linda. Gloria said, I forgot how wide is the shawl, wondering how far down the back it covers. Most of these are going to work out between 28 and 30 inches. It's going to depend on the yarn that you're using. It's the one that I have going right now, it's going to be 28 inches, but once I block it, it's going to be around 29 inches, and that's plenty from your neck to your waist. You can measure yourself or who you want to give this to make sure that it's long enough for them, but I even tried this on my husband, who's 6 foot, and it will be, it's perfect for him as well. So, but keep in mind, your project will grow. If you wet block, which is where you spray it with water and pin it down, your project will grow that way about a ½ inch to an inch, depending. Gloria says, I haven't bought any cakes from Rhea. How many would the shawl take? I know about the Hobby Lobby yarn. I do not have the math in front of me right now, but I will get that up in the group as well, because I ended up, Rhea's yarn calls for a 2 to 4 millimeter needles, so I ended up using the E, which is a 3.5, and was swatching it with that. And I'm using a different, I was using a different thread count. This one that I did have, this one is, this one is a 3-ply, and I originally started swatching with a 4-ply because I do have a few cakes, and I did not want to rip this one apart until I knew what I was going to do. So the 3.5 was working. with the smaller needle, you are going to have to do more rows. So that was one of the things that I had to figure out too. So I am going to go in, actually, let's see, probably Saturday after work, and I'm going to gauge swatch the 3 ply with the 3.5 millimeter. I'm thinking that that should work, and I will let you know how many meters you're going to need. Gloria, it's going to take me a little bit. I've been working some crazy hours. I'm working nights and then coming home and sleeping for about 2 hours and then working days. So I will post that in the event. We're going to start setting all of that up this next week, and get all of that set up and get all the gauge swatch information in. And hi Angela. We'll get all the gauge swatch information and everything else, because like I said, I know that mainly people are going to use the 4 worsted weight or the DK weight. I am really liking how this DK weight is working up. It is so super soft, and with the DK weight, you're definitely going to need more rows. Let me see if I have the one here. Because I'm figuring most people should be able to sit down, and we're going to do a poll this week, and the poll is going to be like, how many rows an evening do you feel like you can dedicate to this? Because I know so many people have jobs, and you work, and you got a crazy life, and I do not want to run one of those where like people feel like they've got to rush. So I'm thinking, you know, these rows are only like, oh my goodness, 126 stitches wide. So they really don't take that long to work up a row. I want everybody to be able to sit down and maybe work on this for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, if you have the time. Once you get the pattern, you can work on it as long as you want. It's pretty much going to be a pattern repeat. So you'll be able to do as many rows as you want. Kathleen said I had to use an 8mm hook to get the size you have with my 4-ply yarn. Yes, actually that's what I'm using, is the 8mm. That's what I thought I recommended on the one post, but I don't know if it was a different post that somebody said they saw that we were going up 4 hook sizes. And actually we're going up more, because the 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8. Yeah, we're going up like 5 hook sizes, because there is no hook size. There's no 7.5. There's the 7mm that's in between the 6, which is the K, the 6.5, which is the K, and then the L. There's the 7mm hook, but it is sold separately and not in a lot of the sets. So yes, we are using the 8mm hook with the number 4 yarn. Kathleen said I must have missed that. I think there must have been another post or something that I said in something else when I was going to swatch it and hadn't yet, or something, because I think a few other people messaged me about that too. So but yeah, everything for the swatch and everything else should be in the, when you scroll to the top of the page, it should be toward the top. It should be in the announcements. It has the videos and all the information on it. And let's see, Angela said she just landed. Yay! I'm glad you made it safe. Traveling's always nerve-wracking, I think, when you fly. I like to be in control of things. So, and the reason we're doing this is because your height is going to, hi Sylvia, your height is going to depend on how many rows you do. So I know that everybody's gauge may be a little bit different. Hi Leela. Hi Sissy. I know everybody's gauge may be a pinch different based on whether you're a yanker, a rider, or a lifter. And that's fine. That's why we did the practice piece, because I wanted everybody to be familiar with the stitches, and we're going to do a gauge swatch where we talk about how to gauge your work and figure out what you're going to need. Most of the people that tested seem to be getting I think it's 15 rows. No. 23 rows to 4 inches. I've got to check. But I have the math and I'm going to figure it out. But like for 5 foot, you're going to need, Kathleen, my internet keeps dropping your videos, so irritating. I will have to finish watching later. They will be, all of these are up and available for later. Hi, Emma. But we will have the math in the event too for how many rows you're going to need. I figure if everybody works on this and does about 10 rows a day, that this should run for about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. But it's going to depend on how tall you are, how much time you have to spend on it. But like I said, this is one of the patterns. It's going to be in an event. The event's going to be up for like 2 years. I think that's how far we can date them out. So there's no rush. You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, after 8 weeks I've only done whatever and I'm not going to have enough time. I don't like cows like that. So this will be up for a long time and have plenty of time for people to come in, start it, do the practice piece so that they can learn the stitches. All of that will be up and have lots of time to do any of this. I do not like to run a cow that's short, because so many people have life come up, and then what happens is you then have to go in and buy the pattern, and you know, or you have to show so much work to get more. I just want to release it in here and have everybody have fun with it. Ultimately, later on, this pattern may be released outside of the group, but for now, it's not. So, if anybody wants to do this, or their friends want to do it, or somebody's interested in it, you can refer them here, if that's allowed in the group that you guys are posting your work in. If not, please don't violate other groups' rules. And we did get another question. Somebody wanted to know why we're a closed group. Being a closed group, you have more control over who sees what's going on in here, because not everybody wants their projects public so that everybody can see them, because these are for orders or for surprise Christmas gifts or whatever. So that being closed, this does not show up in your feed when you post into a closed group. So all of your family is not seeing everything that you crocheted and how many groups you posted it in if you post it in closed groups. We have more control over the rules. I can go in and turn off the watch parties, which we've done, so not everybody is flooded with people starting watch parties that they do not want to watch. This is a crochet group. They do not want to see videos on the impeachment or any of the other stuff that's been popular in the media lately. So that's another benefit of having a private group. And we can control spam easier, because you have to answer the questions when you get into the group, or you have to have groups in common with us to even be in here. So if you don't crochet, you're kind of not getting in, or you don't answer the questions and are new to crochet. This is not a Tunisian dating group. I've had a few people join and answer the questions and think that this is a Tunisian dating group. And our mods and other admin just laugh. So we can screen all of that. That's why having a private or closed group is better. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Is everybody following the practice swatch okay? Everybody's able to find what we're doing, the practice piece. I mean, it is located at the top of the group when you first, if you need to, and, you're not following our feed. The feed comes up in your Facebook stuff, but if you need to find it and actually go to and click on the Tunisian Crochet Graphghan Boutique and you scroll down one or two, you'll see the post with the picture of this, and then all the video links are in the comments. Hi Linda. Hi Leslie. So, please take the time to go in and at least watch those videos. And again, if you're doing this and you're having problems, please ask. We're doing video, the cast on, which I don't have. I have a video, but I didn't post it in there because I think enough of us know how to do the cast on that we're doing. We're doing the cast on, and that's not considered as row 1. Then we're going to do row 1, which is the Tunisian simple stitch, Tunisian purl stitch. There's the video for that. So that's video 1. Then you're going to do video 2. Then you're going to follow video 3. Then you're going to follow video 2, video 1, and then the bind off. All of those videos are located in that post. So if you guys have any problems with those, please don't hesitate to ask for help in here. We want everybody to have the time to be able to practice this, get their yarn, do everything that they need to do, and not feel rushed. This is not something that, I know how many whips people have. We're all guilty. I don't think there's too many of us that are like, okay, I have one, and when I'm done with this, because usually we have one big one and at least one small one that we can take with us on the road. So, like I said, all of the math will be in there. The event will be setting it up here this week, this next week coming up, and getting all that done. And so everybody's practice pieces, follow that, get the stitches together. When we start the tea-cow, there will be a swatch guide to measure your piece so that you know how big and how many rows you need to do. So I'm glad that so far everybody's practice pieces are coming out great, because like I said, the practice pieces, the object of the practice piece is to teach you the stitches. It's not a swatch. It's nothing we're gauging by. It is just the practice piece to teach you the stitches we're using. And again, the stitches are going to be the Tunisian simple stitch, the Tunisian purl stitch, the Tunisian slanted stitch, and the Tunisian knit stitch. And this should come pretty easy. I think the videos go slow enough. I know it's so frustrating to have a pattern that you do and they're like, okay, do this stitch, then this stitch, and that stitch. These are worked pretty much together, so, that's another reason why I have the practice piece, is so that you guys can get familiar with them. You can understand how they're worked together, and it'll be easier to follow along, because I've seen a lot of patterns that have quite a few stitches, and they're like, oh, review to video 1, this is video 3. Then you've got to look at your pattern and be like, okay, this is, what stitch was this again? And it's kind of confusing. So I think the practice swatch, or the practice piece, gives everybody an opportunity to become really familiar with the stitches and not get lost along the way. Hi, Andrea. So, does anybody have any questions about the practice pieces that we're working on? Is anybody having problems with the stitches that are in the videos? Is anybody having issues finding our videos for Graphghans or for any of the stitches that we're using in this. Is there any questions for the newbies about hooks, which is a good set to get, or anything like that? That's what we're all here to help with. So if you have any questions, please post them in here and I'll address them as I see them pop up on here. I am looking forward to getting more of the decal done, and like I said, we will be doing a poll in here. Hopefully I can get it up tomorrow to say what you guys would, how long you guys will be comfortable working for an evening, because I know how many people absolutely positively are, you have work, you have kids, you have house cleaning, you have chores to do. I know that we do not all have 8 hours a day to sit down and work on this, so that's why I want to do the poll, so I can adjust about how many hours or how much time, even if it's a half an hour in the evening, that you guys are going to be able to devote to this, and that way we can release it slowly. Andrea, let me see. My oh goodness. Think. Okay. I don't see my other hooks sitting here that I usually have here. Goodness. Okay. Since I don't see them here. Hooks, yes. What are some good aluminum hooks? Okay. There are two different kind of aluminum hooks. One is a fixed hook. The fixed hook, goodness gracious, I moved my room around, and in case you are having trouble keeping up with me, since I moved everything, I can't find everything. This is a fixed hook. The fixed hook, they sell these are about 10 to 14 inches long. They have a stopper on the end. This does not come off. These are great if you're going to be working on a pillow, something about 20 inches or 100 stitches with worsted weight yarn. These are absolutely fantastic for something small. These are great if you're a beginner and just want to learn. You can pick these up on Amazon for like 12 bucks, I think. Okay, hold on one second. I knew I set them right there. Then, as far as aluminum hooks, there are double-ended hooks. The double-ended hooks I have in a different drawer. But the double-ended hook basically has one hook on one end, one hook on the other. That is for Tunisian and around. One of the bad things about the aluminum hooks like that is you are going to need to keep them in... This is a cabled double-ended hook. You will need to keep them in the paper that they come in because the hook size is not marked and engraved into the hook. So it makes things very difficult for working with the metal hooks. So you have to be quite careful with putting them back in their packet. Now, there is only one set, Andrea, that is made that are aluminum hooks for interchangeable cables. They are the Addy Click. And I know this is backwards, but they are the Addy Click. The Addy Click come in a beautiful case that looks like leather. It's not. They have, the smaller hooks are metal, the larger hooks are a acrylic. And this is the only set that you can get with interchangeable cables. Now, this set comes by itself. All you get is the hooks that come in that box. Your cables, they are sold separately. You have to order them separate. And then your stoppers, you get 2 in a package, and you have to order them separately as well. Which makes this whole set about, if you can find it at a good sale, it makes it about 90 bucks for everything. Hi, Kim. Hi, April. She's on standstill waiting for a tax return to get her hooks on. So that is, Andrea, that's the only, hi, Sharon. That is the only set of aluminum hooks that you can actually buy if you wanted aluminum interchangeable cables. Now, like I said, these are really nice. These are a tapered hook. They work fantastic. They're a nice length. These are about 7 inches long. But you cannot get the range of hooks that you can get with other sets. Let me see. This has a 3.5 up to 8 millimeter in it. So this is a nice set. You do get a nice wide range of stuff with it, and it's great. But everything is sold separately. The Knitter's Pride Tunisian Dream set, I don't have the actual, let me see, I might have the paper in here. No, I do not. The Knitter's Pride Tunisian Dream set is a laminated birch. It comes with, if you watch which set you buy, you can get color-coded cables. And the laminated birch is a very strong wood. It's stronger than the bamboo, and it's stronger than rosewood, so I think they hold up much better. And they have, the cable lengths that come with these are absolutely fantastic. The longest one it comes with is 40 inches, so you can work on anything really small to something really, really wide. And it comes with connectors so you can connect them together. The next set is Chiagu. Makes a set. These are bamboo. They have different connectors to connect them because they're small and there's large. It comes in a nice case. These are really nice, a really nice set. I do like these. And you get all the way up to a N, which is a 10 millimeter. Now with the Dream set, you can actually order, it comes up to the L, which is an 8 millimeter. You can actually order 2 or 3 of the bigger sizes and get them, and it's still cheaper than a lot of the other sets. And also, another popular set is the Denise. The cables that come with these, I actually had to order longer cables because they are short. They're not really long enough to do a Graphghan. So you can order a longer cable set that comes with it. These hooks are only 4.5 inches long. So they are not as long as a crochet hook. So when you get these, if you're used to crocheting with a regular crochet hook, these are going to feel really super short. These are also inline. They are not tapered. So if that makes a difference, if you like a tapered hook, then these are inline. They may catch a little bit for you. So that may be an issue too. It depends on what you actually like. Kim says she loves her Dream set. I love the Dream set too. And if you want to spend more money, they have the Knitter's Pride Ginger set. It comes in this great case. All of your hooks are in here, and there's actually larger hooks in here that I had to buy separately because the Knitter's Pride Dream set comes with an L, And then the MN and 12 millimeter I actually bought separately for myself, and then they ended up coming out with this kit, so I have this. I do like this. This kit does not come with the color-coded cables. It comes with the black cables, so you kind of got to pull them out and figure out what one you want to use. This opens up to hold a pattern, as you can see on the back here. This has magnets in it, so when you fold it back, you can hold a pattern here. So that makes this really nice, and it comes with a pen, and it comes with some stitch markers. The thing about the stitch markers is they are the round and connected stitch markers that you use for knitting, so I'm not quite sure what they were thinking when they put those in a Tunisian set, but heck, maybe there's some way to use them that I don't know about. But it comes with all of that, and it comes with a 24, 32, and a 40-inch cables, 8 end caps, 4 keys, a set of cord connectors, magnets for the pattern holder, and the stitch markers and a pen. Like I said, the stitch markers for me don't really do much because they're solid, so you can't open them up and actually connect them to anything. So I hope that answered all of the questions you had for that, Andrea. If not, shoot me a message and I'll help you out better there. Also, Denise makes a Delaque set. They're not always available, and these are a double-ended set. There's 2 hooks so that you can do Tunisian in the round if you wanted to. Again, I had to order the longer cables if I wanted to work with the Denise set. So that was the only downside to that, is having to order the longer cables. Made them a little more expensive. So, you know, and since I teach live classes that I have actual students, I teach locally, I let them try out all of these, and most of the students seem to gravitate toward the Knitter's Pride set as a beginner set, because usually if you watch, you can get it around $45, and it comes with pretty much everything you're going to need. You're really not going to have to invest in anything else like longer cables, or, you know, you can invest in the larger hooks once you're more familiar, but the hooks that come with it are perfect. The size of the cables is perfect. They're color coded, so it makes stuff easier, so that you know what size you're getting. And they're, you know, I like the laminated birch because it's not going to bend as easy as the bamboo. If you do not store your bamboo hooks flat, or there's high humidity and you have them stored in a project, your bamboo will warp, and if it does that, your hook's no good, so it's trash. So that's another reason why I like the Knitter's Pride. I think that, you know, yeah, it's $45. You know, you can find it cheaper sometimes. Some holidays it'll come down. You know, you can find it at like $37 is about the cheapest that I've seen them lately. But I think it's the biggest bang for your buck if you're going to invest in hooks with the cables and try it. And if you don't like it, there's Mercari and Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that you can resell them. And I can honestly say that I've seen Tunisian hooks go up for sale on my marketplace, and they don't last very long at all. So, and Mercari is a good one too for hooks. I actually ordered, what set did I order? There was a set on there that I ordered and I got. I'm trying to remember what it was. But either way, they had a Tunisian hook set on there and I snagged them up. So, I know that they've got a pretty popular viewing, and it's like free shipping, and they offer all kinds of things. So, if you end up not liking it, I know that they will definitely get sold on there. Hi, Viola. So I hope that answered the questions about the hooks. There are smaller hooks that you can get. Furl is offering a Tunisian hook now. This metal piece seemed to get caught on my yarn a bit. So it wasn't like, oh, bad, I'm not going to use these. But I've also seen a couple people post that they broke at this area. Now furls will replace them, which is fantastic if they break, but you know, it's kind of one of them things that you pay a lot of money for these, and I was hoping the join would be just a pinch smoother, that maybe they would have went over it with a resin or something, but they are also coming out with the king snake, which looks like this, and supposedly a Cruella, which is going to have like a swirl to it, and I'm looking forward to trying those as well. Where's the cheapest to get the Tunisian stitch books 1, 2, and 3? I found Amazon. Sometimes you can find them on eBay, and there's a couple used bookstore things that have come up if you type in the book that you're looking for and hit shopping. A couple used bookstores that are online may have them. I like Amazon because you can order them and get them all at one time. But that's the cheapest that I've seen. Is, like I said, there's a couple secondhand bookstores that are online, but they're very hard to find Tunisian books. Hi, Melinda. So, I hope that answered all the questions. Like I said, the Addy Click set is really nice. There's just a little more expensive because everything is absolutely separate. Gloria said, I got all 3 books on Amazon, come fast, and was the cheapest I found. That's the same way that I found mine, and the cheapest that I found them, and I really like them. I knew that there was fast shipping. I didn't have to worry about the fact that, you know, they were used, if they were going to come really banged up. It's, what is good condition to somebody when, you know, what does somebody really consider good condition? So, Amazon was the way that I went. So, we're going to get the poll up to see how long you guys want to work on this in the evening, and then I will calculate like how many rows we can do, and we'll go from there. This should run about 8 weeks, but like I said, this is going to be left up, and I cannot say this and stress this enough. This event is going to be left in this group for like 2 years. So don't feel like, oh gosh, I started this and my job changed, my hours changed, I had a baby, my son started college, or, you know, my husband passed away. This group will have this in here for a long time. Do not feel like life circumstances are going to stop you or make you purchase something. This is it. You buy the yarn, the pattern's here, that's it. You can work on it at your own pace, and, you know, yes, we're doing it as a tea cow, but it's going to be in here for a long time. We always have new members joining, and, you know, finding the cows that we have going on and things like that. So, and in the meantime, I would like to thank everybody that's been here for a while for your patience. I know that a few know. A friend of mine and me started a cleaning business, so my hours that I have been working have been absolutely crazy, and out here shortly once everything gets scheduled. So I will not be working nights and days too, all in the same day. So please, if you got any questions, post them in the group. This is a learning group. Do not feel frustrated or embarrassed to ask something, because this is the reason that this group was started. I know what it's like, and all of us remember what it's like not to be able to find the Tunisian things that you're looking for, or not be able to find things in the group or whatever. And that's what this is. This is a teaching group. We're all here to help everybody and to, you know, lift everyone up. So if you're having problems with something, you know, or a stitch, or you can't find a video or whatever, please ask and someone will get you a link to it. All of our videos are located at the top of the group. There's some tabs that say like albums and announcements. They're all under the albums. So if you click on albums, you'll see a bunch of stuff come up and you can click on those. You can also use the search feature, that if you're in the group and you scroll to the top of the page, there's a little search magnifying glass. If you click on that, you can type in, you know, honeycomb video, and it will find videos that I have posted that have the honeycomb in it. And then click on it and it will come up. The events are also up there in those tabs. We do have a few going on. I need to get in and finish the one. Like I said, taking over this business has kind of gotten me behind on a few things, and I usually don't like to move on from one decal to another without actually finishing the other one up, but life has kind of happened. So we will have the swatch information up for you guys in that event, and I look forward to seeing everybody's practice pieces done and posted in the group. Like I said, it teaches you the stitches that we're going to be using in the decal for this. And if you have any questions about the sizing, because you're making this for somebody that is not you or whatever, and you measure from the base of their neck down to however far down you want this, that will tell you what your length is. We're doing about 28 inches here. I think somebody else maybe it was Angela, when she tested it, I think hers come out 29 inches. It's going to grow a little bit when you block it. So, but if you have any questions, please, 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 and we will have a blocking video when we're done. So, let's see. Gloria said, I'm excited to go tomorrow to get my DK yarn for the shawl. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week and weekend. Good night, all. Good night, Gloria. Linda, are we going to add closed caption to the decal videos? The ones that are in the group, yes, we are. Those will be the ones that will be linked into the decal event. And those will take a little while to end up with the closed captions in there, because Erica is the one that does that for us, and she has a few things going on right now, so she'll do that when she has time. And it's also going to take us about a week to set the event up, because you have to go in and set the event up and get all of the links over there and the swatch information and everything else, so it's going to take a few days. Does anybody else have any questions? And if you're rewatching this and you have questions, please don't hesitate to post them, because I will see them in here. And if not, I'll give everybody a second to... Thank you. I knew we have a few members who need them. Yes, we do, and that's why so far we've got them up for the swatch part, or for the practice piece part, but they will be getting the closed captioned and the left-handed done here shortly, once we do the event. I would like to thank you all for joining me this evening. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening and week, and I will see you guys on next Wednesday. And please, please, please don't hesitate to ask any questions you have in here. Thank you guys for joining me. You guys are what makes this group great. Have a great evening. Bye.